Put 1 clove in coffee. What happens 10 minutes later is shocking. You know, I've been a doctor for over 30 years, and in all that time, one of the things I've learned is that the most powerful remedies aren't always the most expensive ones. Sometimes they've been sitting in your kitchen cabinet this whole time, forgotten, collecting a little dust, right next to the paprika and the bay leaves. And that's exactly what I want to talk to you about today, because this morning, I want you to try something different with your coffee. Just one small thing. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you're going to understand why what I'm about to share with you could genuinely change the way you feel every single morning. My name is Dr. Dylan. If you're new here, welcome. I talk about real health solutions for real people. Practical things you can actually do, not $200 supplements and not complicated programs. Just honest science explained in plain English.
And if you've been here before, you already know I don't waste your time. So let's get right into it. I want to talk about cloves. One single clove, dropped into your morning coffee. And what happens inside your body starting about 10 minutes after you drink it. Now, before you scroll past this, thinking it's some kind of folk remedy nonsense, I want you to hear me out, because what I'm about to share is backed by legitimate peer-reviewed research. We're talking about studies published in respected medical journals, and the findings are honestly surprising, even to someone like me who spent decades studying how food and medicine interact. So here's where it starts. Cloves come from the dried flower buds of a tree called Syzygium aromaticum. They've been used medicinally for literally thousands of years, in Ayurvedic medicine in India, in traditional Chinese medicine, in ancient Egyptian healing practices. But what modern science has discovered inside this tiny spice is what makes it genuinely remarkable. Cloves contain the highest concentration of antioxidants of virtually any food on Earth. We measure antioxidant strength using something called the ORAC score. Blueberries, famous for antioxidants, score around 4,600. Cloves score over 290,000. That is 60 times more antioxidant power than blueberries. 60 times. In a spice that costs maybe $3 at your grocery store. But antioxidants are just the surface. The real magic inside a clove is a compound called Eugenol. Eugenol is a naturally occurring phenolic compound, and it is responsible for virtually every health benefit I'm about to describe. It's anti-inflammatory. It's antimicrobial. It reduces pain. It affects blood sugar, liver function, gut bacteria, and even how your brain processes information. And when you drop a clove into hot coffee, the heat begins extracting that eugenol into the liquid. Within minutes of drinking it, eugenol is in your bloodstream. And this is where things get genuinely fascinating. Let me walk you through what's actually happening in your body in that first 10 minutes. The moment that coffee hits your stomach, eugenol begins absorbing into your bloodstream. It's what scientists call lipophilic, meaning it crosses cell membranes easily. It doesn't sit around waiting. It moves fast. Within just a couple of minutes, it's already circulating. And one of the first things it does is begin working on your inflammatory pathways. Now, if you're over 50, and I know a lot of you watching are, there's a very good chance you're carrying what doctors call chronic low-grade inflammation. It's not the kind of inflammation where something is visibly swollen or obviously injured. It's a quieter, more persistent state of cellular stress that builds up over years. It's behind the joint stiffness you feel when you get out of bed in the morning. It's behind the brain fog that makes the first hour of your day feel sluggish. It's behind the fatigue that shows up even when you've slept enough. Eugenol works on this inflammation through something called COX-2 enzyme inhibition. If you've ever taken ibuprofen, you already know what COX-2 inhibition feels like. It's the same basic mechanism that makes anti-inflammatory pain relievers work. Except Eugenol does it naturally, without the stomach irritation, without the kidney stress, without the cardiovascular risks that come with long-term NSAID use. It also works on something called NF-kappa B signaling, which is one of the master switches that turns inflammation on in your body at the cellular level. Dampening that switch consistently, every morning, is something your joints and your arteries will thank you for over time. By about 5 to 7 minutes in, something else is happening. And this one is especially important for those of you managing blood sugar. Eugenol has been shown to increase insulin sensitivity. It helps your cells respond more efficiently to insulin, which means glucose gets cleared from your bloodstream more effectively. A study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food found that clove supplementation significantly improved fasting blood glucose levels in diabetic subjects. Now, you're getting a smaller amount from one clove than from a clinical supplement. But combined with the caffeine in coffee, which also affects glucose metabolism, the effect is real and it's meaningful. For a lot of people, this is why the clove-coffee combination produces more sustained, stable energy throughout the morning. No spike, no crash, just steady, clean fuel. And then, around the 7 to 10 minute mark, something interesting happens in your gut. And, through your gut, in your brain. Eugenol has mild carminative properties, meaning it relaxes smooth muscle tension in the digestive tract, reduces gas and bloating, and generally settles the gut down. And through the vagus nerve, the long nerve that connects your gut directly to your brain, those calming signals travel upward. People who drink clove-infused coffee regularly often describe the mental effect as being different from regular coffee. More focused, less jittery. Like the caffeine does its job, but without the anxious edge. That's not placebo. That's your gut-brain axis responding to a compound that works on both systems simultaneously. Now here's what I really want you to understand. These 10-minute effects are real and they're meaningful. But the benefits that build over weeks and months, that's where the story gets even more compelling. When you make this a daily habit, Eugenol consistently dampens inflammatory load throughout your entire body. Over time, people see improvements in joint comfort, in morning mobility, in energy levels. I've had patients who told me their C-reactive protein, a key inflammation marker we check in blood work, came down noticeably. And when we traced it back, the dietary change they'd made was adding cloves to their morning coffee. Simple as that. Your liver gets a daily assist too. Eugenol supports the liver's production of glutathione, your body's own master antioxidant. It protects liver cells from oxidative damage and helps support your natural detoxification pathways. In a world where we're all exposed to more environmental toxins, processed food chemicals, and medications than any previous generation, giving your liver a daily natural boost is genuinely important. For brain health, and I want to spend a real moment here because I know this is something many of you think about, Eugenol has neuroprotective properties that I find genuinely exciting. It inhibits an enzyme called acetylcholinesterase, That enzyme breaks down acetylcholine, which is your primary memory and learning neurotransmitter. By slowing that breakdown, Eugenol keeps more acetylcholine available and active in your brain. This is actually the same mechanism targeted by prescription Alzheimer's medications like donepezil, except those come with significant side effects, and Eugenol does it gently, passively, as part of your morning routine. Add to that the extraordinary antioxidant protection it provides to your neurons and mitochondria, and you have a compound that is genuinely doing something meaningful for your long-term cognitive health. Every single morning. Your cardiovascular system benefits too. Eugenol has mild vasodilatory properties. It relaxes the walls of blood vessels, which supports healthier blood pressure over time. It has anti-platelet effects, meaning it gently reduces the tendency of blood to clot unnecessarily, and it directly protects LDL cholesterol particles from oxidation, which is critical because it's oxidized LDL, not just plain LDL, that actually builds up inside arterial walls and contributes to heart disease. 1 clove a day is not a substitute for a heart-healthy lifestyle, but as part of that lifestyle, it is doing meaningful work. And then there's oral health, which most people never connect to their overall wellness, but absolutely should. Eugenol is the primary ingredient in dental eugenol, the compound dentists have used for over 100 years to treat infected gums and calm toothache pain. When you drink clove-infused coffee, Eugenol coats your entire oral cavity. It kills pathogenic bacteria. It reduces gum inflammation. And here's the part that should get your attention. Certain oral bacteria, particularly one called Porphyromonas gingivalis, have been found in the brains of Alzheimer's patients and in arterial plaque in heart disease patients. Taking care of your mouth isn't just about your teeth anymore. It's about protecting your heart and your brain. So let me tell you how to actually do this, because the method matters, and I want you to get it right. The simplest way is to drop 1 or 2 whole cloves into your cup of hot coffee before you add anything else. Let them steep for 3 to 5 minutes. Then drink. The heat does the extraction work for you. You'll notice a subtle warmth, slightly spiced, a little sweet, complex. It actually softens the bitterness of dark coffee beautifully. Most people find it genuinely pleasant after the first couple of mornings. Remove the cloves or push them to the side. They're firm enough that you won't accidentally swallow one. If you prefer, you can crush or grind 1 or 2 cloves and add them directly into your coffee grounds before brewing. The hot water pulls the eugenol right through as it brews. This gives you a more even flavor throughout the whole pot. Great if you're making coffee for you and your spouse. If you have ground clove powder, just 1/8 of a teaspoon stirred into your finished cup works well too. Start small. The flavor is stronger with powder, and you can always adjust up from there. 1 to 2 cloves per day is the sweet spot. Don't go overboard thinking more is better. Excessive amounts can irritate your stomach. Stick with 1 or 2 and be consistent. That consistency is everything. And if you want to really supercharge your morning cup, try adding a small cinnamon stick along with the clove. Cinnamon is one of the best researched natural compounds for blood sugar regulation. Together, clove and cinnamon create a morning coffee that is genuinely medicinal. Warm, slightly spiced, complex flavor. I drink it myself most mornings. Now, I do want to be responsible and mention a few things for those of you with specific health conditions. If you are on blood thinners, warfarin, Coumadin, Xarelto, Eliquis, please talk to your doctor before adding cloves regularly, because eugenol does have mild antiplatelet properties. If you have a liver condition, keep it to 1 clove
and mention it to your physician. If you're pregnant, stick to culinary amounts in cooking and not medicinal daily doses. For most healthy adults over 50, 1 to 2 cloves a day in coffee is well within safe range. But I always want you to talk to your own doctor about anything you add to your routine. That's just good sense. Here's what I want to leave you with. We live in a world that tries to sell us complicated answers to problems that sometimes have very simple solutions. The supplement industry wants your $80 a month. The wellness programs want your subscription. And sometimes those things have their place. I'm not dismissing them. But sometimes, what your body needs has been sitting in your kitchen the whole time. For pennies.
In a little glass jar next to the bay leaves, 1 clove. Your morning coffee. 10 minutes. That's all it takes to start. Give it 3 weeks. Be consistent. Track how your mornings feel, your energy, your joint comfort, your mental clarity. I think you're going to be surprised. If this was helpful to you today, I want to ask you to do something for me right now. Hit that like button. It only takes a second, and it genuinely helps this channel reach more people who could benefit from information like this. And if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss what I share next. I put out new videos every week, and I always try to bring you something real, something practical, something you can actually use. Leave me a comment below, too. I read every single one. Tell me if you've tried cloves in your coffee before, or if you're going to try it after watching this. I genuinely love hearing from you. I'm Dr. Dylan. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.